is getting quiet. Go on and get crunk. Head back to Longview, Kelly popping trunk. I ain't even tripping. Riding and I'm sipping. Let me come through 4-4, steady tipping. On that new lap. Watch the trunk crack. Let me sit sideways, CB running back. Maybe AP, maybe AD. I ain't even tripping cause we some athletes. Messing with Smitty in the summertime. He get pissed if we don't make our time. But we gon' get it, cause we gotta finish. Nebraska horn hustlers, man, we diminish. Put them boys little, paint like a skittle. I ain't even tripping, I ain't never double dribble. Cause I'm a player from the Himalaya. Let me sit sideways, man. Maybe back door, maybe fall off. Sipping codeine cause I gotta kill a cough. Let me sit sideways in the big Benz. Oh, you boys, they my brothers, they my friends.
All right. Welcome into Fullback U, and the co-hosts are back, and so got to check on Jarrail Jackson down in the dorm room. How you feeling, sir?
Man, I'm good down here in the dorm room, down at THC, man.
We're back on the college budget. I feel you. Yeah, college internet, college budget, college dorm room furniture, all that.
Hey, look, if it's free for the 9-9. I'm riding on.
You are basically.
We got 2 more weeks.
Yeah, you opposite of the savvy vet, PJ Mills. How you feeling, sir?
I'm all right, man. How you doing? Yeah, I feel a lot better after last night.
Doing good. Yeah, I heard. We'll talk about that a little off air, but I heard you had an extra last night. But no, everything's going good here too. Just making sure you guys are doing all right. What'd you think initially? Let's start, Jarrail. What'd you think of the game? Just ugly Tech team, but we throttled them. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was a good win. They played a complete game. No dumb penalties, no nothing. I just think Texas Tech didn't really challenge him. I think Coach Yost, I know him. I don't know how much confidence he had in the quarterback that he had back there. Because there wasn't no. I mean, they got receivers. They didn't even try to test it downfield. But defense played well. Defense played well. I think Grinch got away from. The past couple games he got away from moving the line, just letting those guys go free. I believe right now Ronnie Perkins is the heart and soul of the defense. That guy came out and played well, and then on offense. When he got Stevenson back, it was a totally different game.
Man.
Totally different game. Run the ball down the field, 2 tight ends in, run the counter, do what he's supposed to do. Mims had a freshman night. Mims had a freshman night. And as a receiver coach, you got to better bring him back in after he dropped that big ball. And then he came back and dropped another one, and he dropped another one, so he kind of went downhill. But I think they played well. They did a good job. They're supposed to do versus a Joker Tech team.
What do you think, PJ? You happy? What's your initial thought after the game?
Well, yeah, I'm happy anytime. I'm happy anytime we win, and then we go how the game went. I like how they jumped. I like how we jumped on them. So you put the pressure on them early. I like that. You got a couple of guys back, obviously, that are going to make some differences. I think JJ said the right thing as far as Grinch and. Establishing that up front, the upfront wall, and then playing off of that. I was excited to see them put the foot on the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously 62 to 28 or whatever it was. That doesn't tell the whole story, but I saw aggression. Obviously, the receiver misses that pass, and it sometimes it gets in your head, and you start overthinking it. And but he's a good enough player. He'll come back and he can't make those plays right, but the next game he plays, I'm sure he's going to have a much better game. I'm just glad OU won and look dominant.
And that's my thing, PJ, is they haven't had a blowout like that in a while, especially on the road and against a program that we may have had trouble with. I want to get both of y'all are receivers, but before I talk about that, you guys kind of mentioned Ramondre. It's amazing. What physicality will do for us. Bringing in Ronnie Perkins and then Ramondre, it was a bunch of cats that looked like they was both just like, hey, go get the quarterback. If you're Ronnie Perkins, I don't want to hit you. If you're Ramondre, I don't want to hit you. I'm good. I'm going to let you stiff arm me and fall down. I wanted to ask you both, your receivers, there was a lot of drop balls. Even Spencer Tillman, shout out to him, former Sooner. Always a Sooner. Just, he can't play anymore.
He going to keep it 100.
100.
He is.
Well, there was something he was talking about on air, and again, both of y'all can comment on it, but he was talking about receivers catching the ball with their hands versus their body. Jarrail, you're a wide receiver coach. Guys, obviously, both of you guys played it. What's the difference? Is that just a maturity deal? I know you guys know all the answers to that, but You mentioned Mims having the off night. What would you tell him? What did you see with all that? Let me know.
I mean, you're taught to reach out and snatch the football no matter what. Don't let the ball get to your chest. Certain games, like if it's a wet day or something like that, you got to cradle the ball, you put it in your chest. But that's something, they do tennis ball drills every day. They should reach out and catch the ball with their hands and stuff like that. That's something that's taught in practice. Me as a coach, I probably would have got after him. I'm not going to just sit back and let it continue to go because they got in that lax mode. And if you see it, the more they've been doing it, the more and more game after game where they be catching hit power routes with their body and stuff like that. You got to get on them because with Mims, it just kept going. He dropped a deep ball. Then he turned around, he dropped the shout
hitch or something like that. Yeah,
just kept going, and you got to stop it. You got to stop it the first time you see it. You got to get on them. Hey, reach out and snatch the football. And that's something that they should do. They do in practice. They got tennis ball machines. They reach out and catch it every day in practice. It should carry over in the game. But I know me as a coach, I know what I would have done. So I did it Saturday. They 2 or 3 drop balls. I called timeout and just undressed them because catching football is something that's what you're here for. That's your job. That's what you do. That's what you here to catch football. I don't care about the ESPN plays and like that. That's your job, catch football. So it comes back to we played for Clarence James. He'd undressed us for dropping balls. I know
no doubt
would have undressed us for dropping balls. So it's just something that it's unacceptable. You're a wide receiver coach. You got to address it. However you address it, but you can't let it keep going on. And I'm pretty sure he'll address it today on Sunday. Me personally, I'm gonna address it right then after second, third drop. It's on. We finna get at it. Just because I play the position and I take that position. Like you embarrassing me, because that's my product when I'm put on the field. Yeah. But again, some wide receiver coaches have the expertise where they played it and they understand they can talk to a receiver about it. Some who haven't played it, you kind of got to go back to the meeting room and see what it is, see what they're doing wrong, and then try to tell them. Like me, I played it. PJ played it. It'll be a natural fit. But I just think that's something they'll address today, with tennis balls and stuff like that.
PJ, were you a body catcher? Were you more of a hand catcher? Did it earlier in the game? I know for me, man, I try to catch. I ain't gonna lie to you, Coach Jay. I try to catch my first one with my body, man. I just try to get in that groove, But man, it sometimes slipped out. PJ, let me know.
I mean, I would do both to get used to situations that I'm gonna have to deal with. Because yes, you want to, in a perfect scenario, you want to be able to catch it in your hands, bring it in, and make a play. But sometimes there's going to be times where it's going to be like a chess catch, and you have to have that ability too. My issue was I thought it was a lack of focus because the bomb, it was right there, and he was looking to secure the ball first. Secure the ball first. I mean, you did a great job breaking away, all that, but you got to complete the play. The most important part of that play is you catching it. Now, if you get a touchdown, that's extra. But the number one thing is always catch the football. I remember Coach James used to tell us, and I'm sure Jay too, if you catch their bad balls and you knock down their interceptions, they're going to come to you more.
Mm.
Yeah.
If you catch a quarterback's bad balls and you knock down his interceptions, he's going to trust you and he's going to come to you more. So, again, receiver are usually very talented, very confident guys, but unfortunately, we hate this. We're dependent. So if that guy has to trust us, we got to make sure we got to make sure we do our best to catch everything that's thrown. Now, that can come across selfish or that can come across as doing your job. However you look at it, it's got to be done.
Yeah.
Now, again, I'm not sitting here acting like I caught every ball I ever thrown to me in my life. But what I'm saying is the receiver position is a big play position. Got to make those plays, specifically in those situations where you can get a touchdown.
Yeah, you out front. I mean, me, like PJ said, certain situations you had to catch with your body. Now, I play with Josh Heupel, so I had to catch with my hand socket because I didn't want to get my back blown out because the ball was taking a while to get this. But, you get your back blown out with Josh, and then you catch a bunch of bad balls. We caught a bunch of ducks, from Heupel, but we made it happen. We made it happen. So, you got to be able to. I mean, I've had I had a bunch of quarterbacks in 4 years, 5 years there. So you had to learn how to catch some floaters from Gerard Reese and Brandon Daniels, catch some ducks from Josh Heupel, catch some bullets from Jay White. So you got to be able to adjust. But like you said, just a lack of focus.
No, that's real. I want to get you guys' thoughts on some of the younger guys that got to play, man. Some of the scheme stuff. Credit to Lincoln. They had, it seemed like they could have scored 100 in the first half if they really wanted to. Wasn't really a huge fan of moving McGowan around that much, maybe passing the ball out of the backfield. I mean, I get it to spread the defense out. It ended up giving them a little bit of the edge in the run game. Guys, obviously, when we put Ramondre in there again, they weren't running anything crazy. It was just those guys weren't tapping him. So just Mikey Henderson, the new fullback, shout out to him, fullback touchdown with Jeremiah Hall. You know what I'm saying? So what'd you think of that, Jarrail? New guys.
I think Lincoln's get back to being Lincoln, being creative. What they tell me is when you put McGowan in the slot, you lacking a inside receiver. And then you got McGowan right there who's better than your next inside receiver. So which is good because he's a running back. So you give him the quicks on the outside, jet sweeps on the outsides, and you didn't ask him to run out routes. He turned it into something big and the quick screens. I think it was good moving guys around, and you just trying to put your best guys. You're trying to put your best 11 on the field. So if McGowan is your best 11, and you got Stevenson in the backfield, and you got two receivers on the outside, so you really with those tight ends. If that's a crucial package, if you got Theo Weiss, you got Mims, you got McGowan in the slot, you got Stevens in the back, you still got a tight end. That's something you got to account for because you can throw the screen out there to him. Now he becomes a running back outside the box.
Right.
Outside the box with him and a safety and a corner make a tackle, without running him inside. So I think it was pretty good being creative, just trying to see what he need, what he can use on the road because after practice next Saturday, it gets, Kansas practice. After practice Saturday, then you got West Virginia, who's good. West Virginia, good. You got to go to West Virginia. You got Oklahoma State at home. So now you got to get, now you got some combinations you can play with.
Yeah. No, that's real. PJ, anybody catch your eye?
Well, what I liked is, we've all said this before. The bench is a motivator. So I think that there's been some talks. And we've seen a little bit of different players playing a little bit more. So I was looking towards how were you handling your opportunity when you get in the game? Because I was behind Corey Warren for 2 years. I played every game. And I played probably the same amount of snaps if you kind of look at it.
Oh, we lost PJ.
He's just talking.
We just lost him. Oh,
he muted.
Mute yourself.
Hit your mute button.
But there's also some truth in that. You know what I mean? So I think that the guys, when you mix it up, it shows some of the guys that aren't playing that we're gonna give you a chance, and it shows some of the guys that are starting. Okay, we're not gonna just depend on whether you can play good or not. We're gonna move you, and I think you don't want turmoil. You don't want a high turnover. But sometimes you got to make a point.
Yeah. Well,
sometimes you got to make a point with an athlete.
I am with you there, PJ, and I want to get both of y'all's thoughts on this. The only thing I'm nervous about, the only thing that worries me is, man, them dudes is young across the board. Everybody that you're mentioning is a freshman or sophomore. Everybody.
Yeah, and here's the good thing about that, Bill. In 99, when Bob came, he played all those young guys with us. And all those young guys played, and they grew up. We had some success, and then in 2000, when they played, they was able to overcome some of the adversity they had that we had in 99, and it's good that they grew up. They grew up. I think playing all those guys. I think what you're seeing right now is he telling you, Theo Weiss is my best receiver. Mims is my best receiver. I got the two tight ends. My next best receiver is McGowan. And then I got Stevenson and I got Pleasure, which McGowan's going. And then I could bring in Drake and take out one of the tight ends. So I ain't really got to count on Drake. Not saying Drake ain't good. I ain't really got to count on Drake to be that guy, that inside receiver guy, to give me 10, 15 yards on a jet sweep. I can count on Drake come in. Hey, run the hour, run the Friday. What he did, came across, run the hour route. That's what Drake is good. Now that's a change up with McGowan who comes across. Now he runs the bubble. So as a defense, you got to kind of get prepared for what they're doing, and it's hard. I think he's just utilizing he utilizes what he has right now, and those young guys are what he got. Might as well go young. Might as well go young in the pandemic when it's a difficult year. You know, they can get shut down at any time. These guys, the thing about it is playing young guys. It's not a hostile situation wherever you go. So they're getting used to playing college football. They're getting used to the speed of college football. Without the crowd, to them it's just practice. So next year, they've already been through college football. They just got to get adjusted to the crowd noise, which is easy. So, I'm all in for him playing young guys. Just like I think they did a good job in the secondary, just mixing dudes up, playing different guys, man. And it was productive. They played different guys, man, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. PJ, any young guys catch you? Catch your eye?
Well, I mean, I agree with everything JJ just said. I mean, when you get a guy into the game and an opportunity to play, it kind of sparks something, because whether people want to admit it or not, if you're on the bench and you're not really playing, I mean, you're watching, you want to win, but it's different when they give you that opportunity and then you perform. You on these type of stages, especially when you're young, you want to show what you can do. And I like that the team, obviously I didn't like how we started, but I like how the team, at least from the outside, because I'm not in the locker room, from the outside in, it looks like they're banding together. It looks like they're trying to figure some things out. You got a couple of guys that came back that wasn't playing early in the season, and it looks as though there's some confidence building within this team, because every team takes on a certain identity, and it's not always necessarily the same. The end goal is the same, but how you get there may have to change based off of the personnel that you have and some of the trials and tribulations that come through a season. So it looks as though I feel like I see them coming together rather than pulling each other apart. And when you put together a couple of wins, you get to get that confidence back. And I don't think anybody in this conference is in a situation where OU, if they can, do what they're doing now and continue to win out, I mean, they could be in the conference championship game just like anybody else can. So I think nothing has been crushed. Like, yeah, the ego was crushed a little bit earlier, but their opportunity has not been crushed to at least get to the conference championship game, because obviously OSU lost. So, you beat OSU, kind of take that out of there. So I think that there's still some things that the older guys and the younger guys can come together. Maybe you don't get to the Final Four. We'll see how that plays out. But our goal is, one, to play better, play more consistent, take it game by game, and then see where we are at the end, and maybe we're in the conference championship. And if you get that, then you see what the rest of the country's doing. But right now, you got to hunker down on what you're doing and what you can get better at.
That's real. No. Oh, you brought it up, PJ. Hopefully, us in Texas can win out. We have another chance at, a ranked team, and they're not, falling off at all. And I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on a few other games around the country, though. First, Alabama. Jarrail, you close with Leach, man. I mean, good God, brother. They couldn't listen for anybody. Just one play. The backup D lineman that slammed the running back, and my man looked like he died. I'm like, dude, what?
Hey, so I talked to him Saturday morning, and he was just he was like, you got any advice? I was like, oh, you ain't never seen nothing like that before in your life when you go down there. And here's the thing. I just think, give him a year. I mean, it's always been like this. Every time we've been somewhere, he was at Tech, he was bad the first year. We was at Washington State, we was bad the first year. Give him a year. He running everybody out of there. Like he running everybody out of there. He ran the best player in the SEC out of there because he didn't want to buy into what he was talking about. Yeah. Now, a year, he'll get some guys in there, and it'll be a different story. It took us 2 years to conquer the beast in the Pac-12. It took us 2 years to conquer the beast, and then it was over. Now, that's a different monster, and he knew it going into it. Like Like it's like it. I was at Mississippi State, and we was pretty good, and we went down there, and they just commenced to just. It's just something different, man. Like they just different. And it looked bad. Now he only had like 67 yards of offense or something like that. Like they just kicked. That's period. I mean, and I think Saban was sending a message to him because all that talk he talked about when he was in the Pac-12 about how the SEC was this and SEC that. So they coming at him right now. He know it. And I'll tell you this, give him through the season. He really was handicapped because all he got right now is his staff. That's it. Nobody else on there he had a chance to interview and do all that type of stuff. So give him a year in December. He'll put together a staff that he knows that deal. You know, some guys you might know might be on that staff that he knows it might help him out a little bit. That'll be able to, number one, recruit the South. Number two, understand the kids that he got going there. Because for him, it's a learning. It's his first place he ever been with these type of athletes. You know, Texas Tech, they didn't have these type of athletes. Washington State didn't have these type of athletes. So now this is the first place he's been with those type of athletes. And he's starting to understand, you know, you got to have different type of coaches on that staff to deal with those guys. So give him to December. Some guys you know might be on staff with him a little bit and help him out. And it'll get turned around a little bit.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. But
somebody we know?
I hope so. So, because we know
That's
somebody.
What I heard somebody we know.
PJ, don't me and you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody?
A
little bit.
Okay.
I might have known that somebody for a long time.
Hey.
Yeah, he'll get it right.
Hey. Man, but what I did notice, man, and it's one thing, and listen, I got 3 games on, not to brag, but I got Ohio State, Penn State on. I got Alabama, Mississippi State on, and I've got our game in Texas Tech. The most noticeable difference, PJ and Jarrail, and we talked about this before, those other teams, when they blitz 3, they get there. When they blitz 3, when Alabama just sends 3, they get there. You got 2.5 seconds to throw that ball or somebody's getting hurt. That quarterback, he got a hit. It didn't even look like they hit him that hard, Jarrail. And he
tapped out.
It didn't even look like that, man. I was looking at who he looking at. Man. Where's he looking? He took his helmet off.
Man. Tyson said it best. Everybody got a plan until you get hit.
He took his helmet off. Said, "Nah,
he ain't want no more, man.
I'm out. Y'all can have this."
And I just think, man, it's a different type of mentality over there. It's a mentality that would. The same mentality that Bob had when he was at home. When we get there, it's going to be bad. That's the mentality he got over there at Alabama. And it's just, I think he embraced the whole tradition of Alabama, you know, just like Bob embraced the tradition of Oklahoma football. Oklahoma football was known for being physical on defense side of the ball. So he would make sure he got some dudes that was going to be physical. Roy Williams, Rocky Calvin, those dudes was physical. So, and we was the same, y'all. We was the same way when we was there. You know, even when PJ was there with Beeve and all those guys, when they got to you, it was gonna be physical. So I think just right now it's just a mindset that Nick Saban got with those guys, and they getting dudes, man. Like that, let's call it what it is, man. They getting the 5-star dudes that you know when you look at it, it's Alabama, LSU, Georgia, not us. Alabama, LSU, Georgia. They getting them dudes. They getting them dudes, and them dudes coming in and they producing for them. That's just like at the wide receiver spot, man. I mean, Weddle got hurt, and D. Smith still rolling. Like they still, and the thing is, like them receivers, when they catch the football, man, they basically turn the running backs. They're
not satisfied.
Yeah,
they're not satisfied.
They're trying to hunt you up. Yes. And when they run by you, they run by you. Like they run by you, and it's just, I think it's just the nature of the kids they getting, the nature of the program they getting, and just the mentality of the head coach they got up there.
But yeah, no, you're right, Pete. I'm sorry, PJ, but he's right. They got to get a little turnover. But go ahead, Drew. PJ.
You know, Alabama is up there historically, obviously, like many other programs. But in this particular instance, I want to kind of take it away from Bama. Not their accomplishment, but the conversation for this reason. Bama's been on a great run, right? And there was a time we had a great run too. I would still consider this a really good run, getting to the Final Four times. But I want to turn the attention to not necessarily copying, but someone who had not won it all since '81, a program that has been decent, but not really prevalent. What did Clemson do to beat Bama in 4 years?
They take care.
So I'm not saying beat Clemson. I'm saying we need to. There's too many, and I'm not talking about either one of you. There are too many people making excuses for when we lose in those games. right? So again, this is not admonishing anybody. This is not talking down on anybody. This is just real talk as I see it. We've won too much. And I say this to you guys all the time. We've won too much in whatever you gave us in this era. Went to 4 national championship games, went to 4 Final Four games. So whatever the way you wanted to navigate to a national championship opportunity, we've done it 4 times, 2 different ways, which means we know how to win. But the thing is, are we recruiting? Okay, I'll give you the example. When Alabama beat Clemson, Alabama dominated Clemson on the line of scrimmage, D-line. They were rotating the D-line. 2 years later, Clemson did that to them. We need to not change who we are as a pro. We're not change our philosophy of 1 or 2 things, but we have to be able to have that type of depth and something similar to that in talent. Now, obviously, they're in an area where it's easier to recruit because it's the Southeast, right? But if we're just leaning on that, that's just an excuse. And we've never been about excuses, whether we win or lose. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying fire anybody. I'm saying there has to be a plan of not trying to beat Clemson, but if Clemson was losing to Bama and then turned around in 2 or 3 years, whatever it was, now is beating them, and they are Alabama is the standard of this era, but the standard of the last few years has been Clemson.
So let me before
they didn't make excuses. They changed the narrative by putting in the work. That's what we need to do.
Before Jarrail
That's what
goes,
we need to do.
No, you're right. Before Jarrail goes, because he was about to say something, and I wanted to kind of tag off of him. But he said that they locked up their home state, and PJ, he's so right, because in that time frame, let's think of what South Carolina has not done. So South Carolina has not been shit since Clemson took over. So they killed in-state. North Carolina is just now coming along because Clemson's so damn good, and they need a rival. But they killed it in North Carolina. So they killed their in-state recruiting. They killed it in the next state over that had, your huge D-tackle, Dexter Lawrence types and things like that. Oh, by the way, they went and killed in Georgia. That's huge producer of Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence. They've killed in the state of Florida. Absolutely killed in the state of Florida, who's producing top players. Oh, and then, by the way, they've even gotten into Louisiana and even Alabama. PJ, Jarrail, what you got?
Here's the thing, man. You got to be willing to go get in a fight, or for a 5-star kid. You can't say, well, he got Alabama, he got Georgia, so I'm gonna go recruit. I'm gonna go recruit this kid. He a 5-star, but he ain't as highly recruited as those guys. Those guys ain't on it. You gotta go get in the fight. Like Alabama, they take care of Alabama. Period. It's some dogs in Alabama. They take care of Alabama. Do you know what they do? They'll come in Oklahoma's backyard, Texas backyard. They'll go get somebody out of Houston and bring them down to they go get the best of the best. They're not gonna settle. Well, we Oklahoma. You want to put the Jordan brand on? You got the Jordan brand, so now you got to step above everybody else. You on the sideline in the ones, in the OG ones. They seeing it. So if you're gonna be OG one, go be OG. Go get in the fight. Ed Oliver, number one. Ed Oliver, D tackle out of Houston. No way he should have went to University of Houston. No way. He picked University of Houston over a big school. Now, yeah, his high school coach went there, but if I'm Oklahoma, I'm going down there and selling him. I done had Tommy Harris. I had all these guys from Texas. I'm finna go fight. Okay, you can tell me all day long he going to Houston because his high school coach there. But no, I'm finna go. He got to tell me 3 times that he ain't coming to my school before I leave him alone, and I still might not leave him alone.
That's real.
You gotta go get in the fight. I mean, and that's what it is. Like so, they doing a good job on recruiting, but are you really trying to go get in the fight for the top dogs? Am I really trying to go get in a fight like Waddle from Alabama? Mm-hmm. We didn't put the Belindakoff Award winner here. You had all them receivers that come through here, and you gonna tell me he ain't even take a trip to OU? Come on, you gotta fight, man. You gotta get in the fight, be ready to go. And a lot of it come back to what kind of coaches you got in that recruit staff? Are they dogs? Are they willing to go? Am I willing to go to Compton and sit in somebody's house in Compton and give them Oklahoma? Am I willing to go? Am I willing to go Third Ward, Texas, and sitting in CUNY homes and him shooting around there to go get a kid to come play football? If you are, then you got a chance. Alabama, they don't care, man. They gonna go do it. They gonna take care of their home base. Right now, you can't tell me what's the home base of Oklahoma recruiting.
There's not one.
The home base of Oklahoma recruiting.
So Jay, as always, you're right on point. But you know what I saw happen? I saw Alabama beat Clemson. You know what Clemson did? They went right to Tuscaloosa and took some players from Tuscaloosa.
Exactly.
Right.
We don't care. We don't care whose area it's supposed to be. Our job is to go get some people. And then they got I think they got like 3 or 4 guys out of Tuscaloosa. Yeah. Not just out of Tuscaloosa. Brought him over there, right? So it's about where are your relationships? See, again, I've never recruited. So this is what I think. You would know better. But when you have the profile of the University of Oklahoma or any school that's of that ilk, it is a crime if you don't have somebody you can call. Pretty much anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So are you in these high schools where they're seeing you? Maybe you don't get Jarrail.
No.
Maybe you don't get JD. Man, I like how that guy was. I like how he reacted and interacted with people, this and that. So now that recruiter, he may didn't get those 2 guys, but the way he handled himself and the fact that he was there and people kind of know his name or at least know his face, then maybe you'll get the next guy. Because a lot of high school, as we know, they're trying to protect their kids going to the next level.
Yeah.
If you come in there acting a certain way as a recruiter or they feel something weird, they can't necessarily make your decision for you, but they can make it harder for the recruiter. So we need to be getting in these high schools and building relationships where sometimes they're calling us, hey, I got a guy. You may want to check. Where the high school is calling you because you built a relationship with them, doing nothing illegal. I'm not saying any illegal stuff.
That's what. Now I was just gonna say, PJ. Now Jarrail's laughing.
We don't need it. I know they do it.
But here's the deal.
Okay, we don't need it.
But here's the deal, though, PJ. Is at the University of Oklahoma, I'm proud of our school. Obviously, we all are. But we've got to come to the realization that there's a reason. D tackles. Jarrail comments on it after. They're big business, PJ. They are big business, and we need to go sit down at some of those tables and say, well, what'd you need? I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I mean, you wanted 2 houses. Oh yeah, no problem. I mean, because those things, PJ, we have no way of drawing those kids out. And hey, part of that.
Hold on, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Was it big business in the early 2000s? Was it big business?
I mean, I was getting there. I think it was getting there.
I think we've seen a couple of documentaries that has been big business in a lot of places for a long time.
Right. I mean, in early 2000s,
can you build that relationship and show him a reason you should come here? I would say the 4 national championship opportunities and the 4 Final Four opportunities should be enough to at least get them here to visit. Not everyone, but some of the guys that we need to come here. Again, they can only get 25.
No, you're right.
Where is our 25?
My question is, what if that's a part of the deal? What if that's hey, coach is calling Jarrail and hey, I got 5 stars such and such. Hey, all he needs is a crib over there. LSU, we got you, fam. Don't worry about it. I mean, is that
I'm not naive to that. I'm not naive to that at all. I'm just saying
it's business now.
I get it. It's
business.
But what I'm saying is, would you at least agree that we shouldn't have an incomplete defense in this area?
I agree with that. Absolutely.
That's all. I'm saying an incomplete defense.
Go ahead.
That shouldn't happen. Not in this era that we've been in. That shouldn't happen where it's incomplete.
Here's what Dan Butler would have tell us all the time about recruiting. These type of coaches I want. I should be able to drop you off in the jungle butt naked. You come out wearing bearskin print, a leopard hat, and everybody in the jungle know who you are. Mm-hmm. So if you recruit for me, and I drop you off in Georgia, and we ain't got no ties. We don't know nobody. When you come out of Georgia in 2 weeks, you should know everybody in Georgia. You should know where the players are. You should know what coaches got what, and they should be calling you. That means you got some real dogs on staff. He said when they went from 18 to number 1 in the country with Dak Prescott and them. He has some dogs on the ground. He had some guys in the room that will make calls and had no problem going in. Okay, you say you committed to who? LSU? I'm about to come in your house and talk to you. And we've been talking Mississippi State football. All I need is a toe in the door. If you say okay, coach, you can come talk to me. He said his deal was if they say okay, you can come talk to me. It's your job to go in there and flip it. It's your job to go in there. And they flipped him. Fletcher Cox, Darius Slay. They went there and got some dudes. And then some of this, you gotta be able to know the kids that's in your area, that's out in the sticks, that's under recruited, that could be developed to football players. Dak Prescott, prime example. He came to the big dog camp. That's the only way they found out about him. That's it. But you gotta be able to go in somebody's hometown. You gotta be able to go in Tuscaloosa High School and take a kid from Alabama that's committed to Alabama and been wanting to go to Alabama your whole life. You Oklahoma, you got the same tradition as Alabama. Now you one up him. Hey, we got the Jordan brand. They still Nike. Since you want to be on, since you want to, we got Jordan commercials. Use your stuff to the fullest. Go get them. Go get in the fight. I mean, shoot. Go be like Roy Jones. Go fight Tyson. Yeah. Go fight. Go see what happens. Now if he knock you out, he knock you out. But you know what's gonna happen? You'll get respect from the coaches. So next time they got a kid. Hey, coach, we got a kid. Now
That's what you want.
He got Georgia on, and I can tell you right now, when I was at Dartmouth in the Ivy League, the whole state of Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, I would go in there. I would go in every school, and they would see me. They would see me. After year 1, coach, I got a kid. He got a 23 on the ACT. Is that close? Is that good enough for you? I don't know. Let's work. Then it just build after that. Then you just got to keep going in. Sometimes you got to go to school, even though you know they ain't got no kids. They know they ain't got no kids, but they had one 2 years ago. Go in there and spend 5 minutes with him. Build a relationship with him. And you can't be on your high horse that, hey.
That's where it is.
That's you supposed to want to come to our school. No, not right now. Like you need to go in there and grind. You on the grind. You need to build this. You need to build the school back up. You need to build it back up to where it is. So some of this, you can't be picky about where you go. Drop, go to Georgia. Georgia. You don't know nobody. Grind in Georgia. Make it to where the fact, hey, coach, hey, you may have lost this one, but hey, I got one in the 9th grade class that's gonna be pretty good. Here, let's go and get in control with it. And then get back to your roots. Go down there from the time you cross that Red River on down and kill it and crush it. Crush it, because it's been known. Urban Meyer them said it's known. Texas got players. You just got to go get them. Now it's wide open because Ohio State did hit it. Alabama's killing it. That used to be fertile ground for us. So now, like PJ said, Clemson went to Alabama and got their kids. We got to go to Alabama and get them. We got to go to South Carolina and get them kids. We got to go get the fight. If anything else, if you don't get a kid, you build a relationship with that coach. You did a good job. Because you went in there, number one, you got to humble yourself right now. You got to humble yourself. Yeah, you Oklahoma, we're at the top, but you ain't done shit in recruiting. You ain't got nobody. If you're a defensive player outside of Kenneth Murray, that's the last person that got drafted in the high round. You got to go in there. You got to humble yourself. I would like to see him get a receiver like Smith from Alabama. I would like to see a kid that come in that's physically 6'3", 210, ready to run and can run all day from the sticks of Mississippi, from the sticks of Alabama, from the sticks of Georgia. That's what you need to compete right nowadays, because that's where they at. You know, Texas got them. Texas got receivers for days. But if you want to compete, you better go sit and get your moon pie and an RC Coke out there in Mississippi, Georgia, and that hot and walk. You better go to Colquitt County and holler at them. You better go to Atlanta and go to MLK and see what you can get out of there. See who you can get, because it's all about, I've been there, so, it's all about going. I've been to Virginia. It's okay. I've been to Virginia. You go get a couple.
Whoa. What?
A couple out of Virginia. I've been there. They got some players in Virginia, but you got to go to the right one. You know what I'm saying? And
they go southeast.
5-star from Virginia, but you got to make sure he playing in that top level league out there. Because it's different leagues out there. PJ tell you, they got great football out there, but you got to make sure you getting the one from the right league. Because some leagues that's like playing they're like playing Kansas every week, and then they play one game, they play Gonzaga Prep, and then that's it. But you gotta make sure you get the right one. I'm with PJ. Them boys gotta go to the South. I gotta sweat. I gotta have my shirt sticking to me like this.
Yeah.
Where it's all beaten down. I'm going to a little born. Nobody
accent like Jarrail.
They looking at you. They looking at you. If you make a left turn and you make a left turn, you might not come back. So stay straight on this little road. Go in there. Yes, sir. No, sir. Humble yourself and go get in the fight with them, man. That's all you got to do. Get in the fight with Alabama. Get in the fight with Georgia. Get in the fight with you. Because it's SEC. You could beat Georgia. You could beat Georgia in their home state. You can. If you really go at it.
But they got so many. Georgia can get their 25, Clemson, Bama. Okay, they got their 75. There's still enough in Georgia and Texas and Louisiana to get your 25. And again, it's going to be new to some degree or reopening the terms of conversation. But you have to do that because once you're not, oh, that's the guy from OU. Oh, that's Jarrail. Jarrail, come on. Once you get to that level, they'll start calling you and telling you. And listen, sometimes it may not be their top upper echelon. It may be their C guys. Well, a C guy who's committed and who's going to get coached up right and develop. Okay, it's not necessarily where you start. It's what's in you, what you're willing to do, and what you can become. So it's about relationship building, Jay. And JD, it really is because a lot of these coaches can do some of the work for you if you build a good enough relationship with them. And
going to Cali, man. Cali is easy. You go to Cali is easy. All you gotta do is hook up one of the little runners out there who know everybody that's in the little league. 7-on-7. That's easy. Yeah. That's easy. But here's the thing: if the right coach,
Florida love that 7-on-7.
If the right coach get the right job at USC, it ain't happening, bro. It ain't happening. Because if the right man get the job at USC and that place wake up, you ain't coming to Cali no more.
That's right.
You ain't coming to Cali no more. You better go to Florida and get into the mix with those guys in Florida that's in Tallahassee because they really ain't feeling Tallahassee. You got to understand.
You can't make it in certain hoods. And
LA. Yeah, you got to understand the coaches who really ain't been, who team ain't really bought in. USC, that man on the hot seat, he really ain't bought in. Because if you control them four corners, when Reggie Bush and all them come from, you can be anybody in the country. Now, you go down to Tallahassee, they're not really feeling Mike Norvell down there. Go down there and get Tallahassee. Still 1 or 2 from Tallahassee. You got a base. You got Hollywood Brown from out of there. You got some guys from out of there. And then just say, hey, okay, I'm finna go. I don't know who I'm gonna get, but I'm finna put somebody in Georgia. I'm finna put somebody in Mississippi, and I'm finna put somebody in Alabama. But here's the thing: they gotta be my top dogs. They gotta be my dudes that can go anywhere in the country and go get it. And he go get it. And you know where another place that people be forgetting? I'm gonna put my best. Now I'm gonna put my best guy that can relate to any city kids. I'm gonna put him in Memphis, Tennessee, and he go down there and give me some cats out of Memphis that can run because they overlooked, but they still built like Mississippi and Alabama kids because they right there in the middle, and there's so many. But
Jersey got some guys too.
Who?
Jersey got some guys.
Yeah, too. Jersey got some guys, but
they got them athletes. They maybe not a lot, but they got them athletes out there though.
Yeah, but you gotta say you gotta say, give me my best guys that can go in and can relate to anybody that ain't gonna back down to nobody and go and then send them and whatever you get, but you build a relationship. So hey, next year they may say, hey, coach, I ain't got one, but it's one down the street that be killing everybody, and he work out with such and such, and get to know everybody. Get to know, go down there and spend time, get to know. I can pick up the phone right now and call dude in Georgia who's a trainer who trained all them kids, and he gonna give me the rundown of everybody I want. Matter of fact, he called me yesterday trying to give me every D1 bounce back in Atlanta. Can't have, man. I ain't got it's out of state fee. I got out of state fee. I got out of state fee.
And you know it works both ways because in a lot of instances, I'm sure we've all seen this at some point. You've got a coach, a high school coach somewhere, and it's almost like it's the flip side of what Jay was just talking about, in that they have a guy that they have a relationship with, let's say Oklahoma, just because it's us. They have a relationship with Oklahoma, with somebody in Atlanta. Well, if you have a player that isn't necessarily the guy right now, but you think he could be that, he can tell you about that kid early and you build a relationship. And if he turns into what you or that coach think he is, that's somewhat of an end because you're building that over a 2 or 3 year period. So again, the relationship part is so huge in this game because he'll pick up the phone and call Jarrail or call JD. Hey, this guy's just a freshman, he's a sophomore, but I think it's somebody more to look at. And then you can build that relationship, and maybe that helps you going forward. I mean, that the relationship building and what the school has done recently, those two things in a lot of cases determine where they're gonna go. If they're not just stuck standing.
Here's what you can't be scared to do. And
can't be scared of no.
You can't be scared to just say, hey, he be like, Coach, I mean, he going to Alabama, but I got one. He ain't as good as he is, but he could be potentially. Let me get him, Coach. If I got a scholarship left, if I'm at 25, if I'm at 24, and I got a 25th one, and I know a dude in Georgia got one that possibly could turn into, he might not be a star, but he may be a player that can help me. Let me sign him because in that 10th grade class, it's a beast in that 10th grade class. So now when it's time to recruit him, I got somebody that know him. They got a relationship with him. They grew up with him. So now I go get him. And now once I get him, he can start doing for you what Caleb Williams is doing for you now, selling your program. So now I got a kid who I'd have built a relationship with for 2 years just because I spent a scholarship on one kid to come in to be, he may not be a star for me, but he may be a good role player for me. He going to play hard. He going to give me his 20, 25 snaps a game. I ain't going to have no issues with him. He going to do exactly what I tell him to do. But now when it's time for his homeboy to come out in the 10th, 11th grade, hey, when he come on an official trip, hey, you host him. Make sure you go home, you holler at him. He know your program. He done been out here to see him. So now that's how you build a relationship up. Now that coach, you done took his guy. You took his guy for me. Hey, coach, he a good player. I did it a bunch of times. Hey, coach, I did it at Dartmouth. Hey, coach, he a great player. Great kid. Great kid. I got another one now that's going to be beast. So I took him. He came in. No issues, no problem. And when the other kid came up, I can go in there. It could be every school in the country sitting there ready to talk to the coach. You know who walked right past him? I do. Go in the back there. Who didn't even talk to nobody. So you can't be on this pedestal. Like, you can't be on this pedestal right now. Because we playing good football, but you get your ass kicked when you playing the real guys. So you can't be on the pedestal. You got to be on the grind. Like, you got to be a foot soldier right now. If I'm at Oklahoma, I'm out in the woods, man. I'm out in the woods. I'm chopping it down. I'm hunting. I'm going to hunt right now.
That'll lead us to a great point. I'm totally with you. And you talked about getting into a fight, and I got to ask you, we can finish it with this, but your boy Dan Mullen. If anybody wanted to get in one and hype the crowd up like it was fucking WWE, your boy did. What was your thoughts? To set it up for the fans, I don't know if you saw it, PJ, but there was a Hail Mary at the end of half. Missouri clearly 1,001, 1,002, bow, still hits the guy. I don't know if they called it a targeting or not, but it was pretty close. But they just both benches clear before you know it. Dan Mullen in the strength coach's face, he spitting on everybody. I mean, I don't know what was going on.
Dan was.
That's one of the most disrespectful things you can do to a man is spit in his face.
I'm saying that hypothetically.
He was.
Okay, I'm about to say.
Listen, Dan went at it, man. The young coach, first time in the SEC. You know, that's that dude from he was at Appalachian State. You get a job in Missouri. They ain't gonna look at you like you shouldn't be there. So at the end of the half, you smoke my quarterback. He didn't go at the strict coach. He went at the head coach to see what he was all about. They got each other face, and then it happened. You know, he went at it, and then he was already probably on the fourth Red Bull, so he was up here. When he went in the locker room. He just came back out and got the crowd fired up. And you know what? Here's the thing about it, though. That team, to see your head coach go after him like that, probably behind it came out the second half and got after him. You know, they got after him. That's one thing. Like, he ain't finna back down for nobody. I mean, we finna play Alabama. He called out Alabama. Now they came out and just kicked our ass from the jump. You know, he probably should have left them alone. But they came out and got after us. But to see your head coach go after him to protect his quarterback, that was big. But here's the thing, like, that O-line went after before anybody else. Before anybody else, them dudes went at him. And the culture that he built, you know, and that's something that got to get built back up here to where we ain't playing none of that cheap shot, none of the other stuff. Like, we ain't playing that, you know. So, but no, man, Dan funny, man. I sent him a text asking, He think he was Mayweather somebody, man. He was like, I'll whoop his ass. I'll whoop his ass, JJ.
I don't know.
Like, Coach, he'd have whooped your ass. Shit, JJ, I'd have whooped that ass. Now. I took a fine.
I'll take a fine. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Brad. But it was just funny, man, because, we had just talked about the post-game handshakes and everything like that. And just so interesting. PJ, last thing, I want to get your thoughts. Did you, by chance, see the Clemson game? And Jarrail, I'm sure you did too.
It looked a lot different without Lawrence there.
Woo! Yeah. What'd you think?
Different.
What'd you think?
I mean, I think they're still gonna be there. I mean, anybody that's got COVID, I'm praying for you. But he's gonna come back, and they're gonna get busy again. I mean, they stacked. It shows though. I don't want anything to happen to him or any other player. But if he's out, it changes the leeway that they have.
Yeah.
He's the number one quarterback in the nation. And Clemson stacked, but you need that trigger. You know what I'm saying? So Notre Dame's going to be interesting because they're playing if I'm correct, JJ, they're playing an all ACC schedule this year, right?
Yeah. Yep. So no Trevor Lawrence.
Huh?
No Trevor Lawrence next week.
Yeah, they have,
right. So there's no Trevor Lawrence, and with Notre Dame's name and how they're playing, at least so far, that's going to put some pressure on Clemson, depending on how long he's out.
Yeah.
Like if they lose a game, that can put a little bit of pressure on them. Now, they're most likely because the Pac-12 is going to come in later, the Big Ten has come in later. They may take both of them. Usually they've been taking one from a conference. They may take two because the other conferences came in later. They think that's the better team, but you saw what they look like. Now, I think that they're better than what they look like without him that first game. I think they would pick it up after that. But there's a gap with him being there and him not being behind the center.
Your boy,
Bad college.
I pray for him. Had COVID. I had COVID, so I know what he's going through now. It's one of those deals where he's got to fight through. But I think, if they lose this weekend in Notre Dame, he come back and they run the table and they beat Notre Dame in the ACC championship, you're gonna get Ohio State went out. You get Ohio State SEC winner, and then them two will play again because they gonna say, they gonna say he was out because of COVID. It was a different team. So
exactly.
But like I said, I think you see the old Brent Venables of old this week.
So, hey, let me ask you guys this. I'm sorry, Jay, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You good?
Before I forget about it, I'm older than both of y'all. Two quick ones. What do you think about Notre Dame right now? As far as the team, how good do you think they are right now?
They run the ball extremely well, brother.
So they can control the clock. They can control the clock. Are they able to put the pressure to you consistently down the field if they need it? That's my first question. And my second one's going to be the one I really want to hear from you guys.
I think they can control the game, run the ball, and then what they can get you is if they have a success running the football, they can play action the hell out you and hit you over the top. Now this week going against Clemson, I think you see the Brent Venables of 2001, 2002. He'll be really dialed in on what's going on because he know the offense is lacking. They can't pick up the slack if something happens. So I think you'll see a real detailed Brent Venables and he'll get at him type of deal, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. My second one, Jay, I want to go. JD, I want to go with you first. Michigan and the head coach. I'll listen.
I mean, in a loss to Michigan State in Michigan is not a good sign. I think their recruiting, PJ, honestly, has been okay. It's been better than average, I would say. Not great, but better. The quarterback's a good player, but he's young. He has no touch right now. My buddy Josh Gaddis is the offensive coordinator there. I think he's doing a good job. They've got some fairly good receivers. Man, they just can't put enough points on the board, PJ. And
how much longer the coach got?
That's a good question.
I mean, to be honest with you, you 1-6 versus top 10 teams at home. You ain't been
a
minute. I think that's it. If he lose Ohio State, it's over. I mean, you got because his contract year is up. You paid him a lot of money. I think he'll go back to the league. You know, I think it'll be a mutual deal. I think he wants to get back to the league. A little bit easier, just straight football. So I think you'll see Matt Campbell from Iowa State maybe the new head coach there, or it could be your guy. Your guy could decide. You know, you got BV could decide. I'm tired of waiting and go get one. You know, and be at Michigan or somebody like that. But
does he have the best job in the country right now?
Mm-hmm.
Brent Venables,
$2 million
sure.
defensive coordinator,
For
athletes everywhere.
For sure,
He made the best job in the country.
Yeah, the best job in the country. He ain't going nowhere. Like I said, I think it's over for him. You know, I think it's the honeymoon's over. You know, the alumni came back. Usually, when alumni come back to school, they really don't do that good of a job as a head coach when they come back to that place. I guess because the expectations are so high. So I think they'll move on. I think he'll jump to the league and he'll get a job quickly in the league. You know, maybe the Falcons or somewhere like that. You know, somewhere he can run this stuff, bring Pep Hamilton back and stuff like that.
Love Pep.
And run it like that.
Pep was one of our OCs up in Chicago. One of my third years.
Pep tried to get me to in the XFL, but you know I had somebody else that just hired me first. I couldn't, you know.
Pep was my dog. We had a cookout one day and we was just playing horse, and he became a fan of mine. He just saw me shoot PJ, and you know got that J.
Jay was wet that
you know
day.
What I'm saying? You know it Monday through Sunday.
You was out there like Derek Fisher.
Well, the J is wet Monday through Sunday. That's all I got to say. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm a lefty, all that, but you know most people don't know. You know, okay, you know, grew up basketball. Pulled up on the varsity basketball team as a freshman, 5A. There's stuff out. There's videos. Okay, there's
basketball,
videos
my favorite sport.
Yeah,
but
you know, that was it. I started growing out instead of up. You know what I mean? And you know, my handles was nice, Jarrail, but I put on like 40 pounds between my sophomore year to my junior year. So my free throws went from Steph to Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Basketball
was fun for me. I played defense like James Harden though. Yeah, I'm running that shit out. I'm laying up now.
No defense.
When you need me to play defense, I'm gonna play defense. But if the game, hey, I'm running out.
Man. I'm yelling to defense. Get them 5 fouls, 6 fouls real quick.
I'm yelling to Rashard Lewis. Throw it deep, man. Just rebound, just throw it deep. Just throw it deep. I got you.
Foot basketball.
Hey,
yeah, I ain't mad at you.
Football. Hey, we had them big boys, J Mo going there. Our big boys went there and used their 5 fouls now. Like you can come if you want. I don't think it was a game at JY where we even finished when I was there. Because if you came to our gym, like we played Willow Ridge. This is no lie. We played Willow Ridge. They had TJ Ford, Daniel Ewan, all was real good. They beat us by 1. Dude from the team walk up there, pull the clock, cut the lights off. The coach like, hey, can we get some help? Get out here? Nah, man. Y'all get the same way y'all got out of here. And we had lined that hall all the way up. Hey, they took there's one way in that thing, one way out. Yeah. But they took L's all the way to the I mean, they had to call them the task force to come in. We was on their head, man. Like you ain't finna just that's how it was. Like I don't think it was a game ever we finished at Yates.
That's real.
Play the stadium. And now we go play the stadium. We go play the stadium. It looked like a stadium now because they weren't gonna let too many of us in there. Not from in the game because it wasn't a football game. We finished in the Astrodome. Dudes start shooting, so it just that's just.
I started as a freshman in Virginia at my high school, and so you know there's some responsibility being the point guard. Well, we played one of our rivals, Norcom. We had 2 guys that could dunk really well. They were like juniors at the time when I came in. They came up to me and they said, "Congratulations on you being point." I said, "What you mean?" He said, "I mean, tell your boy don't try to dunk, or his legs is gonna be cut from under."
Oh wow!
Yeah. Said it to me, right? Said it to me. I'm not the guy you're talking about.
Right.
He said, "You the point guard, right? Tell your boy if he go for a dunk, it ain't gonna happen."
Hey, who's the nicest hoopers on the team? Who's the nicest hoopers? Who's the nicest hoopers when you was at OU at the Huff? Who could hoop?
A bunch of them. I'm gonna tell you because we played. We played on the same team. I was the point guard. T. Brown was the 2 guard. Right. We mixed it up because we had. Listen, Arthur Atkins is one of the most athletic, big guys running that lane. He was a power forward. Sayed Jones was on our team too. So it's me, me,
all followers.
T Brown, Sad Jones, Double A, and we had the last one switched because people was graduating. We had Deuce on the team at one point. We had Ricky Brady. Listen, Ricky Brady can go get it in basketball.
Yeah,
trust me. SA2, Steven Alexander. SA can go get it too. Hey man, listen. They took us down to Chickasha because we were winning the intramural games, right? We were winning so much it got to the point where, okay, check this out. I may have told you this before. We made it a big deal, so we had to put it in the school paper. We had cheerleaders. We had Robert Allen Necro wear a suit as our coach, and we had music playing. That's how we was doing in the intramural. We winning so much they broke it up. You couldn't have two football players. It was three at first. They may take it up to it was three when we got that back to three. So then all that was good. So we feel like, everybody, we good at more than one sport. So they was like, hey, listen, can you do me a favor? Can y'all come down to Chickasha? We got some guys that just want to play and just kind of get some run. We said, when is it? He said, well, such and such. I said, okay, yeah, we go. So we went down there, right? We come in there, we Chickasha. So we thinking, ain't nobody can play no basketball in Chickasha. You young, you don't think nobody can play but you. So we get there, we playing around. I see short people over there shooting, right? I'm like, this what you talking about? He just laughed at me. I said, what you laughing about? We about to get these boys to business, give them that work. And they said, okay. JD, the door opened on the left-hand side. 6'4", 6'5", 6'7", came in.
Excuse us.
Huh?
They say, excuse us.
Yeah, he made it look like we were playing them. Well, he knew some people from overseas, and he brought the team over.
Oh yeah,
because they kind of do little things in America. They brought the team from overseas, and they gave us that work.
Yeah,
I'm glad there's no film of that.
I mean, we had Mike Woods.
Beast.
Oh, Mike Woods can jump over anything.
Hey, we had Mike. We had me. We had Damon Parker with the left hand jumper can rebound. Then we had Big Al Basinger was light on the feet. Now he can run. All he did was stay down low. But I was like, we need a center. They was like, nah, you don't need a center. We got Mike. So Mike wins the tap, and we shoot a three. And they had
Mike Woods?
Yeah. So listen. We shoot. Hey, so listen. This is when I knew Mike Woods was legit. We shot.
He's legit.
We shot a three and missed it. They had a dude that was 6'7", and Mike just went up and just kept going up and just dunked his head. And then he was like, hey, I want you to come to the room. So you go to the room. He got a picture in the state game where he just took off on Ryan Humphreys. Yeah. Just round. I was like, ooh. Now
his hops was crazy.
Our freshman year, we played intramural football. They didn't know we was football players until the end of the season. Like we was out there smoking cats. Yeah. And then we had to. It was like Miami. We had to forfeit all our wins, but we was out there running real plays. We had Seth Smith out there, me, Seth Smith, everybody.
That could play too.
Hey, we was going good. Hey, but
that's real. I grew up. Mike Woods was Dale City cat, so Midwest City, Dale City growing up.
Athlete.
Dion Luton. You probably remember Dion Luton that went to Washington.
Yeah, y'all know Dion Luton.
I used to watch them growing up, and they was and they had Casey Cartwright and that one that went to Hawaii. He was a player.
Hey, when I see Mike take off on old dude, I was like, yeah, we don't need no center, man. We don't need no center.
Not at all.
Mike got that down low.
Hey, Brodney Poole, hops out of this world, brother. I'm talking.
Yeah, we had a guy Albert Hall like that too. Albert Hall could jump out the gym.
Fundamental basketball, though, I'd say Zach Lapp, Mo Dampier for us. Crazy could shoot. Brandon Braxton was pretty good offensive line. We had some big guys that could play.
I wish you could have saw Sid Jones play basketball.
Oh yeah,
man, Sid Jones gets busy on that block.
Gonna fire you, man.
He gets busy on that block. Yeah. And Mike McDaniel can play basketball too.
Mike McDaniel can play basketball though. Hey, now,
T Brown can shoot the three and play defense. I was the passer and played defense. We had it down to a nice little system, dog.
The one who can shoot, Josh Heupel can knock it down now.
Really?
Left hand jumper, Josh can knock it down. I was gonna get the text and talk shit to you and get everybody started that type of stuff. And then I'm gonna get my little cheap points. I'm gonna steal the ball and all that type of stuff. And then I'm gonna threaten you. Now, if you undercut anybody on my team, I'm gonna whoop your ass when the game over. So that was
that's a must.
Yeah.
That's a must.
Yeah. No, I was nice. I was the fullback. I would shake your hand, but I mean, whatever we needed to get done, I was the same way, Jarrail. You got to be the executioner. We just out here playing football. I I mean, there's a loose ball, you're not getting it. Like there's no chance. I wouldn't even run for it if I was. We're going head first for that ball, and I got a big ass head. Okay, so like I'm winning that battle, right? So other things, we go for a rebound, and I'm trying to play the point, and that was one thing that helped me was it wasn't too many 240-pound point guards except Khalid El Amin. Then he was at UConn at the time, PJ. So they was in trouble on the low block, dog. They was in trouble.
Hey man,
240 moving.
My execution days got. I had to slow it down when I got to OU. I don't know if you remember this, PJ. It was freshman. We ran a reverse, and Kelly Gregg dumped me on my head. I'm from Yates. He from Oklahoma. My first reaction was to throw the ball at him. I threw the ball at him and went at him. Kelly Gregg grabbed me. And put me
You're going nowhere.
Hey, all kind of wrestle position. So he got me in all kind of wrestle position. He let me go. Hey, I go at him again. He put me in the guillotine and let me go. I go at him again. So Coach James walked up to me. He was like, "You got to be the stupidest motherfucker. You never know. He's a state wrestling champion, dummy. You leave him alone." Hey,
you leave him alone.
Hey, so the locker room. Hey, I decided. Hey, I'm just gonna steal him.
Oh yeah.
I can't let it go out like this. I'm just gonna steal him and give me one good shot in there, and I'll be able to live with myself. Hey, he was in there. Hey, I hit him with everything I had. Hey, didn't even phase. He turned around and got me, put me in the presser. Hey, they had to go get Snelly to come tap. I had to tap out, man. Like I was done. That's what.
Damn.
Hey man, hey JD, I was there when JD was. When
Kelly Gregg.
Kelly Gregg, thank you. He was. Listen, if he grabs you, you're going nowhere. He and Brent DeQuazy, if they grab you, you're not going any further.
Hey, Peter, you just muted yourself, but epic match between Davin Joseph and Jake Gutierrez. We had two state wrestlers too. One was a giant, one was a little midget. And before you knew it, Dav was on top and little Goot, I said, I will never fuck with Goot. I will never, ever, ever mess with Goot. And seeing how quick he is, I wouldn't mess with that dude. Now I know you guys are like boxing guys, and I know some of these people be talking shit to boxers and UFC guys on Twitter. But I promise you, man, some of them dudes is 140. I don't care how many belts there are. You don't want that smoke.
Leave the quiet guys alone.
Yep.
Because I saw a different side of Sid Jones one night I've never seen in my life. He is laid back, cool, calm.
Wouldn't mess with him?
Don't do that.
They couldn't pay you to mess with him?
No.
10,000.
I seen him.
100,000.
I grew up with him. I seen him.
Him and Beef, like, yeah, no, you don't want to really deal with that. I mean, it wasn't no punch on the team anyway, but
Beef got issues.
The hierarchy. It's hard.
Beef got issues. Beef got emotional issues.
Yeah, but that said Jones don't, and he still can get it today. He still get that.
That's real. Hey, we'll have to have another edition of this after next week.
No doubt, man. All love, man.
Appreciate it.
Best college fights or something like that. That'll be a good one. Or whatever we can incriminate.
All you got to do is go watch the tape of us against USC in '92.
Okay.
When Coach Selman backed both teams up.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna check it out. Hey, man.
No lie. Both teams.
You brothers have a great day. I appreciate you guys coming. My fans is gonna love this.
That'll be good.
Great episode. Full back you.
All right.